All right, Pure Joy Exports coming at you live and in form. My name's Nick. Thanks for tuning in. Today is March something 2026. We're almost through retrograde, and couldn't be happier. Although this past season has all been about just moving forward. Through that, I haven't stopped listening to music, but I have kind of cut back on collecting music, or at least finding music. I'm never without it. We always have it around us. And yeah, these are just a few CDs and one DVD that I've been able to pull from the universe and and plant in our musical garden. One thing that I've been attempting is to paint a room. This is the shade Pollen Powder. It's a really beautiful yellow that is both inspirational and inviting. Those are two I words, but it is definitely a space that I want to cultivate. In that space of cultivation, I'd like to talk about some music. We're just going to jump in. So first up is Pisces Iscariot. This was a 1994 B-side release from the Smashing Pumpkins. Really beautiful release of music that I didn't know was even there. I have one B-side that I featured in a previous Nick's Picks, and this is a continuation of those same ideas, but a bit more professional, I guess, a bit more commercial in that way. I haven't listened yet, but I'm really excited to dig into this. I have a feeling this spring, summer, definitely a Smashing Pumpkins season. Butch Vig, of course, did all of the production for these tracks. It is complicating to get into the Pumpkins kind of B-sides, but I feel like there's a vast and huge depth of music that Billy Corgan, his genius is profound. So I'm really excited to dig into this one a little bit more. I also love these fish. There you go. Pisces. Next up, or at least a few months ago, I was really interested in chanting, like monks specifically from Nepal doing chanting. So I found this release. It's a Ryko disc from 1989. This is Freedom Chants from the Roof of the World. 30 minutes of guttural, psychologically stimulating, quote-unquote, music. And it came with this beautiful mandala and some liner notes too. But I really just dig the frequency which monks produce from their voices. I think it's beneficial, hugely, and supportive of just a healing mentality. It's what also caused me to probably paint those rooms. We've been lighting these beeswax candles, man, I don't even know for how long. 2 months, 3 months? What is time? And we'll get into that. But this is one thing that I haven't yet dug into this, but I feel like when I do, it'll hit me like a truck. Next up, speaking of trucks, actually not speaking of trucks at all. Next up, though, is Stereolab's Mars Audiac Quintet. This is from 1994, so still curating that early 90s mentality I love so much. Stereolab's early work is incredible. Their first record, Peng 33 or something like that, I loved. And previously I've heard, what everyone else has, Dots and Loops, but this is their third record, so a little more substantial, a little more like professional, for lack of a better word, but has it's a bit more full sounding now that they have Andy Ramsey on drums and Mary kind of joining the band in full. This is a really beautiful record. I love the cover art and how everything looks on that. It's so fantastic. So another great record that I haven't yet listened to in full, but I'm really excited to dig into that. Yeah. Okay. So following that, we have a randomly assorted Grateful Dead a lot. These are CDs that I bought off eBay from one seller. They had, let's see, this is 5 CDs of random Grateful Dead music, although they're all color coordinated them because I thought, why not? I have the utility. Thank you to my stepfather for putting these together. Anyway, this is the first one we have is Dick's Picks Volume 1. This is a UK CD. It's made in the UK at least. Anyway, tracks are He's Gone Truckin' into Nobody's Fault But Mine. There's a jam into the other one with a shortened bass solo by Phil Lesh. Apparently he didn't like it that much. I think it's great. You can hear it online. The audience copies are all still there. Anyway, that jam goes into Stella Blue and finishes with Around and Around. This is the second CD, although there's another, which is fantastic in its own right. Has a few Weather Report Suite and Mississippi Half Step. Love this one. Secondly, we have Dick's Picks Volume, this is 15 from 1999. Dick LaValla was still in charge of the releases at this point, still alive at least. He died in 2001, something like that, and then Dave Lemmy picked up. But anyway, this is Englishtown from 77. This is September 3rd. This is the third CD. You know, in these lots, it's kind of funny, you know, you just get what you get. But this is He's Gone into Not Fade Away with a Truckin' to end the third set, and the encore, Terrapin Station. Haven't listened to this in a while. I remember a very cold and rainy day I put that one on and jammed out. So we have now disc 1 of Live at Cow Palace. This is from 12/31, 1976. So this is rounding out their hiatus year, or their comeback from their hiatus. This is right before the spring of 77, which is their ultimate, their perfect period. But this CD itself is maybe like $20, something like that. I think I got all of this for maybe $30 or $40. But anyway, this is disc 1, which is Promised Land, Bertha, Mama Tried, They Love Each Other, Looks Like Rain, Deal, and then Playing the Band. A whopping 23-minute playing in the band. That's something else. Some people count the amount of times that people say deal whenever they're doing that song. I'm not one of them. Second, or the penultimate CD, is Built to Last. This is the 13th and final album of the Grateful Dead. I've not yet, actually that's not true. I have really been interested in this record from the standpoint of them playing the music. This is from 1989, an incredible year for the Grateful Dead. They were doing shows in the summer. I mean, all throughout 1989, they played some amazing shows in October. They did the Warlock shows. That was Bob's 40th birthday. And then in the spring, they also had some shows, 7/9. I mean, some really, really incredible shows. Truckin' to Buffalo. I mean, you can watch all those online too. There are videos of them playing. But anyway, this is the CD. I liked it on purple. Foolish Heart, A Little Lie, Built to Last, Blow Away, Victim, We Can Run, Standing on the Moon, Picasso. You know, this is just a really interesting collection of songs that these are probably all music they didn't think was good enough, and the record label said, yeah, it is. Let's put it out. And it probably sold really well. So lastly, in the spirit of the Grateful Dead, this is a bootleg from Italy. This is KTS, which stands for Kiss the Stone. This is a 1993 bootleg from a show that was in March 24th, 1993. This has a medley of Crazy Fingers. This is the second CD of 2. So this has a Crazy Fingers playing in the band, drum space medley into Going Down the Road Feeling Bad with the Throwing Stones in there, Not Fade, and the encore Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I always love bootlegs, especially Italians. Being Italian myself, I find it to be very profound, I guess, in that way. It's just fun that people were so inspired to make their own kind of labels, produce their CDs. I have a few other KTS specific. Maybe I'll do a video of that in the future. But this is just another fantastic release. So anyway, These are 6 CDs of the Grateful Dead's enormous catalog. There you go. Just like that. Okay. Lastly, man, do I love Death Cab for Cutie. This is a fantastic live tour video, DVD, from their 2004 tour of Transatlanticism. I spent part of the morning listening to this. It is absolutely fantastic. As they said, they put the punk in punctual. This is a supremely nuanced, creative element, just in full maturation. I really love the early 2000s of Death Cab, their record. We have the Facts and We're Voting Yes. One of my favorite, in the last couple of weeks, I've listened to that a few different times. With headphones, it's incredible. It's a great, feels like parts of the photo album, that EP, but still a little more like professional sounding. So this has now the full lineup, the full Monty, everybody in there. Chris Walla and Nick and Ben Gibbard, and I'm forgetting one other person, but Jason or Jackson or something. Anyway, the early 2000s has this vibe about it, which I absolutely love. 2005 this was released, but this was from 2004. When I was a kid, that kind of childhood escape, it's prevalent, in a lot of those releases. I loved so much as a kid, and now with nostalgia under complete destruction, I just feel like going back and experiencing parts of your childhood that you might have missed. It's huge, and now as an adult, so many are doing that. So anyway, this is a great release. I really appreciated watching it, and it's on 16mm film. It's fantastic. So those are Nick's Picks Volume 6, maybe. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. We have a special guest, Miss Asia, at the end. She never comes out that much, and this is really special. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Find some of these releases if you like. Otherwise, yeah, check it out. Check it out sometime soon, okay? Peace.